Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be another full face video, and today we're going to do a full face of Makeup Revolution. So I have a box right here full of Makeup Revolution products. I have everything to complete a full face except for lips. So I don't have a lip product from Makeup Revolution, and so I'm just gonna pick something else at the end of this video. But yeah, we're gonna do a full face of this brand. This is one of my favorites, like drugstore brands, I guess. It's cruelty free and it's very easy to get in Sweden, or like relatively easy to get in Sweden, and it's also really inexpensive, and they have a lot of fun products. So yeah, I'm excited to play around with all of this. I have used a lot of the items before, but there are also a lot of the items that I haven't used. So I'm gonna tell you when I use them, if I have used them, and what I think about it, and if I have an opinion, and also if it's a first impression, I will tell you how I feel about it also, I guess, for that first impression. But yeah, let's just dive into this. I'm going to start by doing my face makeup, just because I don't like looking like this on camera. So first off, let's start with this Hydrate and Prime primer. So this is what it looks like. I have used it once before, I believe, but I can't remember what I... Oops. Very thin consistency. But yeah, as I said, I have used it once before, but I can't remember what I thought about it. Yeah, it feels nice and hydrating. It feels kind of a little bit sticky, so that's good when we go in with the foundation. And so far so good. So the foundation that I'm going to use is the Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation, and this is in the shade F3. And I don't know if I picked the right shade, and I have never used this one before, so let's try it out. I think it's gonna be too dark, but yeah, it has this huge applicator, so yeah, let's not talk too much. Let's just do it. Yeah, it's gonna be too dark, but that's gonna be okay for this video. I don't know how much to like go in with. I feel like it feels very thin. Do you know if I need to shake it? I'm shaking it. Do you think I'm going in with too much? Yeah, it's oxidizing too, so yeah. Keep that in mind. And I'm just gonna blend it out with a sponge. It actually doesn't look that bad. Like in the viewfinder, it definitely looks light enough. And if I look up close, I'm just gonna pull this thing away. It's not like a ton of coverage. It says it's supposed to be full coverage foundation. I wouldn't say that it's like, you can still see things like poking through, or like you can still see some freckles and like some breakouts and everything. So it's not like completely full coverage, but I think it's so far it's looking nice on the skin. I think it's drying down a tiny bit, like it's getting a tiny bit more matte as I'm speaking. I think that's fine because I have oily skin, so that's, yeah, my skin type is oily, and I don't have like a ton of pores. I have a little bit of pores, but it's nothing, like I'm not really bothered by it. But yeah, I think it looks kind of good. It's not like full coverage, so if I had, like if I wanted total full coverage, it would not be enough for me. I also have the Conceal and Define Concealer, and this one is in the shade C2. I have tried, I think I used it, I also have this in C4, and I think I used that in a full face some other time, I believe. And I used the one in C4 and that was too dark, so now I bought the C2, even though it wasn't really my favorite when I tried the C4. So let's try C2 and see what I feel about that one. I feel like everything looks lighter in the viewfinder than it does like on me. I'm just blending this out with the sponge as well. So I hope you're all doing well with the self-isolation going on in the coronavirus. I'm currently working from home, but there's like business is going on pretty much as usual in Sweden. Like you're not allowed to meet in gatherings over like 50 people, or like public gatherings, I guess, because they're not technically allowed to like limit the number of people in like private gatherings, so like weddings, but they are kind of recommending people to not have weddings if they are like over 50 people. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go in with a tiny bit more of the concealer under my eye. I don't usually do this for like when I actually do my makeup, just because I feel like it doesn't do that much of a difference, and I usually don't care if there's a tiny bit of like darkness peeking through. I think that looks really good. But when I'm testing it out like this on camera, I want to do like another layer to see how far I can get and what it looks like after. So far I think it's looking really nice. So let's move on and set that concealer under my eyes. So I have two powders. One is this one. This is the Revolution Light Pink Loose Setting Powder. I got it in the shade Light Pink. I thought that might be good on me. And I also have this Ghost Finish Luxury Baking Powder. They don't have the one that is called Ghost Finish, I believe, but they have one that is called White, and I think that's the same. And I really like this, like the finish of this, I guess, under my eyes. So even though this is white and it will probably look a bit weird, I think I'm gonna use this under my eyes, and then I'm gonna use this all over my face. So let's do that. I've had a little bit of like a runny nose and that, so I'm not sure if I'm affected by corona. Like, you don't know. If you don't have like serious symptoms, they don't test you in Sweden, so it's impossible to know if you had it or not. Like, a lot of people only get like a runny nose or a little bit of a cough. I'm not affected at all in my like breathing, because that's one of the things, like if you get any serious like effects from corona, it's usually like trouble breathing, and I think coughing is one of the main things that you get when you get corona, and I have no like problems breathing or no coughing at all. So I'm not sure if my runny nose is just because it's the cold season like people are getting colds this time of year, or it's corona. You never know. So let me know in the comments how you are all doing, how you all are doing with this quarantine and corona. If you suspect that you have had it, that would be interesting to know as well. But yeah, let's just set the face. I think it's looking really good so far. So I'm gonna, oops, that just kind of flew everywhere. So I kind of like the packaging. It's kind of bulky, but it's kind of pretty with this kind of rose gold, and then you have like, it's a bit down into the jar, and then you have an R in the plastic, and it's like a sifter, but it's still kind of messy. Like, you get powder everywhere if it's not like stored like this all the time. So yeah, I'm just gonna use this to set my face, and I'm using a Zoeva 107 powder polish brush, which I always use to set my face basically. Okay, so as I said, I think it's looking nice so far. A little bit heavy on my chin, but that's what, like, that usually happens for me because I lay around a lot of product on my chin. But otherwise, I feel like it looks good, it feels good. I'm not totally like dead, although I look dead because I'm completely flat, but I don't feel like my skin looks like completely, it looks very matte, and I really like the matte look. So but I still don't feel like it feels or like looks dead, if that makes any sense. So now I'm going to go in and bronze, and you might remember this one is completely ugly now, but this is the Mega Bronzer in 02 Warm, and I had that in the previous round of previous round of Roulette Pan Collab, and I used this for like 4 months straight, and there's like barely a dip in here. Like, you can see that I used it, but not much at all. So you get a ton of product in here. I think it's like 15 grams of product. So yeah, this is going to last me a lifetime. I think I calculated how long it would take, and I used up 1 gram in like 4 months. So I think it was like 4 years or something like that, that it would last me if I used it as much as I used it during that project. And yeah, so I think I might have bronzers to last me until I die, basically. I think it's funny with this like self-quarantine, how like it gets very evident that a lot of things that I like to do are things that you do by yourself. So like, I really like or like my hobbies include making videos for YouTube, of course, that's what I'm doing right now, and that you do by yourself at home from my bedroom currently. And my other interests include riding. I ride horses. I take care of a horse like at least 4 times a week, and that you do by yourself as well, and that is like out in like nature. So because I'm usually like, we're not that many in the stable, so I usually go when I go, there's usually no one else there. So I do that by myself as well. And then of course I like reading, which you also do by yourself. So it's very evident like how much of a, I guess not a loner, but I really like my interests usually do just yourself. So yeah, I'm probably lucky that I live with my boyfriend and he can keep me company, because otherwise I might just forget that I need to see people. Okay, so that was bronzer, and another product that you will recognize is this Makeup Revolution Ultra Blush Palette, and this is in the one that is called Hot Spice. And this one was first in my, I think it was a Roulette Pan collab round where I tried to hit pan in this one, or it was another project, maybe it was like a drop 10 before summer project. But yeah, I wanted to hit pan in this one and I did, and then I got it in my whole collection project 10 pan, and then I used this one up completely. So today I think I'm going to use, I might use this one that I've hit pan on before, and I'm using it on a Luxie angle brush. I don't have a plan for the makeup look that I'm going to do, like the eye look. I don't use setting spray, so I don't have any a setting spray from them to try out. It wouldn't be a fair test anyway, since I usually hate all setting sprays. So yeah, but I really like this palette. I think it's a nice quality. Like the palette might not be like the best quality since it's broken, but you definitely get your money's worth out of here, and I think all of them look really nice on me. Like I've tested all of them, and except for these two, I don't really like these two, but like all of the blushes I really like. So definitely recommend these palettes, like blush and like blush palettes from Makeup Revolution, especially that one in Hot Spice. For highlighter, I have one that I have never tried before. This is the loose highlighter in the shade Rose Quartz, and this packaging is really pretty. Like it's very plasticky and really like drugstore-y, I guess, but it's also really pretty with the glitter, and yeah. So this is a loose highlighter, and I don't think I've ever tried a loose highlighter, so this is going to be interesting. I have tried a eyeshadow from like a loose pigment from MAC as a highlighter, but yeah. I have a tiny in the cap right here, so let's go in with that. I'm hoping it's not too dark, but I don't think it will. It's kind of glittery, so I'm just gonna put it on both cheeks because I got quite a bit on my brush. I think that looks really pretty. I think that looks actually really stunning, and it's like it doesn't have a lot of color, so when you look like straight ahead you can't really see it, and then when you like move your head and the light catches, like the highlight catches the light, then you can like, yeah, that was actually really pretty, much prettier than I thought it would be. So let's do the nose. There is one, I think they have like 3 shades of this one, and I think there might be one that is more of a bronze, and then one that is like completely white. I thought the white would be kind of too stark, so I didn't get that one, and I thought this one would look nice. So it's not as like pinky or rosy like I thought it would be, but that's fine. I think it looks very like neutral, and it looks really nice. So happy with that one, and I will be using it more for sure. So let's do brows. I've used this one on camera before as well. This is the, what is this, brow gel in the shade medium brown, and last time I didn't really like, I think it was in my shop my stash, wait, one brush. I think it was in my shop my stash full face. I used this one and it didn't look amazing. Let's say that it didn't look that good, just because I used like a brow pomade and then I went in with this one, and that was kind of too intense. So today I'm going to try and only go in with this one, and then if I need to use like a powder, maybe I can do that, or maybe I can take it on a brush and try it that way. So let's see. It has this tiny brush, which is nice because it gives you a lot of control. I actually really like this one. Like, look at that eyebrow. That took like 2 minutes. Not even 2 minutes. Took like 2 seconds to do my eyebrows. And I like how it's tinted. Like, I don't like the Benefit, you know which one I mean. The brow gel with like fibers in it. Because I feel like it's, I don't know, I just don't like it. I think it's hard to use and I don't think it does enough for me. But like this one, it doesn't have fibers, it's just tinted, and it's just like the perfect amount of pigment to it. So it's easy to just kind of do your eyebrows in a hurry. This is my good brow, this is my bad brow, so this is not as like good, where it does not have as good of a shape from the beginning. Okay, so let's just leave them like that just for the sake of this video. I might like fill in the tail a little bit on this one and maybe make it look not so like, I don't know. But yeah, let's move on to the eyes. So I don't have a primer from Makeup Revolution, like an eyeshadow primer. So I'm gonna prime like I've been doing recently, but I'm going to use the concealer. So I'm going to go in with this NYX Wonder Pencil in the shade Light, and I'm just gonna apply this all over, kind of like this, just kind of slap it on. Or maybe I shouldn't do it on both eyes, because I'm probably gonna do one eye and then do the other eye off camera. And then just a dab of the concealer. That was too much. And this is just a Sueva 142 concealer brush. Concealer buffer. Sorry. So the eyeshadows that I have are, this one, this is the Reloaded Marvelous Mattes. So this is full matte. And then I have the Full Frenzy Creation palette, which is this one. I also have the Full Frenzy Hybrid palette. So this is more like a cool tone palette, and this is more warm tone. And then I also have this kind of glitter palette with all of these glitters. And then I have a ton of these like pro pigments in different colors. So this one is in the shade Burgundy Red. And then I have a ton of others, like this one is in Trendy Turquoise and this one is in White. And I have a ton of different colors of those. But I haven't really decided. Like, I had this kind of thought in my head that I would do kind of like a blue base and then would put like red glitter on top, and I don't know how that would look, but I thought it might be fun to try out. Like, I would never put a red eyeshadow on top of like a blue eye look, because that would not blend nicely. But like, if it's a glitter that does not like blend into the eyeshadow, what would that look like? So I think maybe we'll try that out today. And so I'm going to first go in with this shade right here. It will also give us like an idea. I have used a few of the shades in here, but I haven't played around with them a ton. So it will also give us like a feeling of this kind of matte palette and the quality. So I'm just taking that and packing it on basically all over my eyelid. I'm just gonna take some of the powder that we used before and just kind of load that up under my eye to catch any fallout. I know I look great, you don't have to tell me. Okay, so after packing that on all over my eye, doesn't really want to stick here, but that might be like some unevenness in the primer. But after packing that on all over my eyes, I'm going to wipe off my brush a bit and then kind of start with small circular motions here on the border. Just a tiny bit to blend it a little bit. Okay, and then I'm gonna go into this blue right here. Press and then buff on the edges. And now I think I'm just gonna, I would take like a eyeshadow that's same color as my skin tone, just a tiny bit lighter, but I don't have one from Makeup Revolution. So I think I'm gonna try using this white to go in underneath my brow. And then I'm just gonna switch brush to a MAC 217, just like a smaller fluffy brush. And I'm gonna take the light blue again. And then I'm gonna go in with the same brush with the darker color. and kind of blend in between the light blue and the dark blue, or like the light blue and the teal. I'm gonna take my finger with the dark blue and just kind of pat here on the outside tiny bit, see if I can get some more pigmentation. Let's go in with kind of the same combo underneath my eyes. So starting with this on a really small brush, I'm just gonna run that along my lower lash line and connect it to the top here, like that. And then I think on the inner half I'm gonna go in with the more light blue. Okay, so let's now try and go in with the glitter. So I'm gonna take the NYX glitter glue and I'm gonna put some on my hand, and then I'm gonna take a fluffy brush. This one is from Makeup Addiction Cosmetic, like this, and it's fluffy, and I'm gonna dip that into the NYX glitter glue, and then I'm just gonna pat like this, kind of on the mobile part of my lid. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with this red glitter. Like, this is where I would cut. If this turns out super bad, I would be like, well, let's redo it. It looks a little bit weird from afar, but like when I look into the mirror, I think it looks really cool, but it doesn't really, I don't think it translates well to camera, so I'm gonna keep it, but just know that it probably looks a bit weird. I'm gonna take a tiny bit of the dark eyeshadow and I'm gonna pat that over here on the outside. Okay, so I'm gonna do the other eye and then I will be right back. Okay, so I decided to put this Revolution Pro pigment pomade in this shade, which is Ocean Blue. I decided to put that kind of on my waterline. And then I also applied my mascara, and the one that I used is the Blowout High Volume Mascara with Cannabis Sativa in it. And I had never used this one before, so it was completely new. It didn't wow me. It has a very interesting brush that I do like. I like these kind of like plastic bristle brushes, and I feel like it was very good at like kind of separating the lashes, but then it was a very thin formula, so it didn't really build a lot. So yeah, jury's still out on this one. I think maybe if it dries up a little bit, it might be easier to use and it might get like a better result. I did 2 coats and you can't really see them because of the eyeshadow, but yeah, not overwhelmed. Okay, so I'm gonna apply some lashes, I think, and then I'm gonna apply a lip, and then I will be right back to kind of close out this video. Okay, so let's wrap this up. On my lips, I am wearing the ColourPop lipsticks in the shade Weekender, and this is one of their matte X formula, and this is my go-to kind of red lip when I want to wear a red lipstick. And my lashes are from Unicorn Cosmetics. I'm not completely sure about the style, so I'm gonna leave that down in the description box. I think it might be something like with like bubble, maybe bubble me. I'm not sure, but I will leave it down in the description box. But yeah, this is the finished look. This is almost a full face of Makeup Revolution. I think it looks good. Like, if we zoom in a bit, I think that the base looks pretty good right now. It has collected a tiny bit in the wrinkles on my forehead, but it does not look worse than like anything else I would use for like, I would totally use this combination for just use it, I guess. Like, there's nothing that I wouldn't use again. I really like the highlighter. I would use some other type of brow product in my brows as well if I'm not in a super hurry, because I feel like they look a little bit unstructured. Just using the eyebrow gel. I think the eyeshadows perform pretty well. Like, I could definitely work with them. I think the glitter I've used a ton before, and it's just like a pressed fine glitter, so that's fine. And yeah, the blush is really pretty. I don't know what else to say. So yeah, this was definitely a success. I do enjoy the look. I don't know if it translates well on camera, but I think it looks really pretty like in the mirror. So yeah, that's something at least. So please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and if there is any full face of makeup, like full face XX, that you would like to see me do, then please let me know down in the comments. That will be great. And yeah, see you in my next one. Bye.